Thank you to Morris Arkletum for their generous donation on Patreon. If you would like to join them in their generosity, the link to my Patreon page is in the description. Hello everyone, and welcome back to All of the Above. I'm Vivian.
And I'm Caleb.
And this is our first time recording in a little bit. You know, we've missed a few episodes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We were supposed to film one on the second to last day, really the last full day I was down in Kansas, but we just spent time together the whole day, and so
It was one of the few days where it was just like us and I think maybe Kyle. So
yeah, it was you, me, Kyle, and then Ethan showed up at the very end of the day. So yeah, we just spent more time hanging out, and I was happy with it. You know, I was happy just sort of hanging out and having a good time. And then your computer decided to implode.
Yep. You finally, after 9 years of dedicated service, decided to
And
kick
we
the
lost
bucket.
him. Ah, fuck. Let's call him back. Continue telling me about your fucking computer, man. I'm sorry.
Hey man, at least we're even. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta love these technical issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would
Makes
pop it open
everything-
to clean it. I replaced the screen, like full on, opened it up and unscrewed it.
Damn.
Because I did not have the money to replace it, but I had $50 to change the screen.
Nice.
But it just finally gave out. Whatever was in this newest Windows update, it just could not handle. I don't know what happened.
Man, my computer got fucked up from it too. It seems like a lot of people got fucked over by this latest Windows update.
So I'll shelf it for now. Maybe I can come back to it when a new Windows update comes out, see if that
Yeah.
fixes it, hopefully. But
In the
other than that, I got my mama hadn't used her actual laptop for 2 years.
Ooh, goodness.
It's what happens when you get a work laptop and all you use your laptop for is work.
Yeah.
But I'm not kidding in that text I sent you. I set it up. It needed 1,000+ updates,
Jesus Christ.
5+ restarts, and took about a day deep scan to get rid of viruses and registry problems.
Fucking hell, man.
You don't let your desktop or computer sit for too long.
Yeah.
Things back up.
Yeah, and in addition to that, you're also trying a new piece of hardware.
Oh yeah, it installed pretty easily, and I was fiddling with it before the show. My computer, for whatever reason, thought it was also a speaker.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Some microphones do that. It's fucking weird.
So it took me a good 20 minutes to convince it that it was just a microphone.
Yeah. But so hopefully you're sounding better. This is actually a microphone I bought. I have I told you how I came into possession of that microphone?
No.
I bought it and the webcam I use for my videos currently at the same time. What it was, I was working at a GameStop in I won't say what town, but the very far away one, the really shitty one. And one of the guys who worked there with me, he worked there with me. He only worked one day because he worked a full-time job elsewhere, and he just did this as like a side gig. But he was very experienced. He was ex-military. He worked like cybersecurity at a bank. Like, this dude was way overqualified for this. He just did it because he likes video games.
I was about to say it was like a weird choice
Yeah,
for a
like
second hustle.
yeah, it was not for the money. But what he did do was, what he did do for the money was he really employed those employee discounts,
Ah,
and he he basically played GameStop like it was a fucking game. He would figure out what products were on sale from GameStop,
yeah.
figure out what prices they would be cross-referencing with like eBay or other secondhand sellers, and he would match them all up so he would know what to buy from GameStop with his employee discount so that he could sell it elsewhere and get more money. And
Smart.
yeah, and he would go in the reverse where he would figure out what games were getting jacked up in price at GameStop and what were being sold for very cheap elsewhere. And so he would trade them into GameStop to get extra trade credit, because as an employee, you also got extra trade credit and extra, I think it was just extra trade credit for your, and when you're a member, you also get double trade credit. So then he would put it all on cards and then cash them all in like all at once to like buy a bunch of shit, like very high expensive stuff. One day he apparently cleaned GameStop out of like thousands of dollars, and then bought at a different GameStop, one he actually liked, bought like $20,000 worth of equipment that he then either used or resold for like 50,000. Like, this dude was playing the fucking game, man. He knew what he was doing. But because he liked me and he had the microphone that you currently have and the webcam I use for my videos, he had them in his trunk because he was ready to trade them in. We were selling them, not trade them in, but he was going to secondhand sell them elsewhere.
Yeah.
GameStop was selling the webcam and the microphone for a combined like 150, almost $200. But he sold them to me for like 75 or something. No, it was like 50. Like he gave me a ridiculous discount because he wanted to support what I did, and he liked me, and because he knew he had 5 other of each thing in his trunk, so he didn't mind didn't mind taking the loss on that one. And so I bought like $70 worth of equipment, and then I had the snowball at the time, the snowball that you saw me use. We recorded the show down there with.
Yeah.
I was using that, and I wound up finding that that microphone was more compatible with my setup. Also, the whole like, is it a speaker? Is it a microphone thing? Fucked with OBS, and I didn't want to bother with it. And so when Aaron was talking about setting up and doing streaming, I was like, well, I have my old webcam and I have this new microphone. And so I sent them to him. And by the time he got it all, he got a different microphone. And then I was like, well, now can we get that to Caleb? And then it took 4 months because coronavirus hit. And then Aaron moved and kept forgetting to send it to you. And so finally, when down on the trip, I grabbed it for you, and so now it's yours. So that microphone's been on a hell of a journey.
It's third hand, pretty good, and free. That's what I like.
Exactly. It's third hand, used for the first time other than my test. I tested it once. You're the first person to actually use the fucking thing. And it has traveled a long way from an Illinois trunk to a Kansas living room. So
I
that
saw it and I was like, this can't be used because I opened it up and everything looked new. There was like no dog hair, and I was like, that's hard because I've had dogs that don't shed. And even then, they
yeah.
get shit in there in the fucking packing foam.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
And I was
that that thing was never used other than my one test.
other than opening it to make sure it worked.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it was. So you're the first real owner of that third-hand microphone that was bought in a different zip code. Uh, so that's a fun little journey.
Yeah, it seems it's working fantastically from looking at the audio levels.
Yeah. Well, I'm very glad. I'm looking forward to hearing the difference because I'm the one that has to fucking edit all of our technical problems out of out of all this
That's
shit.
it's also true for the listeners at home. Viv is hearing a very different voice.
Yeah.
They're over a different microphone
Yeah.
as I have a
I
headset on.
yeah, because we're talking to each other over the phone. We were doing Discord in the beginning, which was a lot easier technically, but the sound quality just could not. We might be able to do it better now. Now that you have a better microphone, we'll have to see how it sounds.
There's also my
Sometime.
connection issues,
True, true. You do have some unique connection problems in your home.
which still boggles the mind of Google, as we've called them several times, and they've come out and they're just like, that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, yeah. At this point, it's like I don't know if you'd get any peace and quiet there, but you might have to record the fucking podcast at Kyle's house. Just fucking.
Oh, from what I've talked to him, his house is a little worse because
Oh Jesus.
she manually makes hers priorities, and then she has like 5 devices streaming constantly.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot. Like Kyle's mom set up a whole bot server to manually run her Farmville, so she didn't have to do it, but it would constantly farm her shit.
Yep,
Like,
and has a bot farm for those, like, what is it called, swipe bucks or something like that.
yeah,
Like, watch these ads and play these games to earn gift cards. She set up
yeah.
bots for that.
Which it's smart, shows a lot of dedication. Meanwhile, up until a couple months ago, they were living in a literal swamp
Yeah.
of their own creation, mind you. Not talking about the land, talking about what they put on it. Holy God! But no, I finally got to see it in person. The amount of progress you and Kyle and Ethan have made on his room in that hallway, and it's more than night and day. It's like a different dimension. It's hard to believe it's the same fucking room.
Oh yeah, and they're even we've cleared out enough where they figured out that you know where that desk is in the hallway?
Yeah.
That's just empty space, like between the wall and the next wall over. It's just empty space between a wall.
Wow.
So they're
Really?
planning on knocking it out and either putting in a closet or just opening up that hallway more.
Nice. That would be good. That would be very
Yeah.
good because that hallway is a fucking death trap.
From maybe 2.5 feet to 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet of hallway.
Yeah. And I can imagine that there's probably a support beam in that little that corner that has like the door to the kitchen or the living room or the hallway.
Yeah,
So
you can see it.
yeah.
It runs over the top. It's like very obvious where it is.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, if that wasn't there, then you just knock that whole fucking thing out, and make it a big open space. I bet that'd be nice, but
Yeah.
nah.
It's not an up and down support beam. It's across the ceiling. So as long as they
well,
don't touch it.
Yeah, well, then who knows? But I mean, the fact that they're putting in all the work on it, it's I'm very proud of Kyle and his mom in particular, but of all of you guys, because y'all have been working on it, getting in there, actually bagging the stuff up, actually throwing out stuff, sorting it, cleaning it again, cleaning it again and again,
Disinfecting
sanitizing,
it.
disinfecting it. You've been painting. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited to see how it looks next time I come down. Which, considering that we've already done the one trip, and now that I know that if we plan it accordingly, I could get down there in half the fucking time. Because, goddamn it, I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad. I'm still
Do you
mad.
want to start that as the first story?
Yeah,
Just
let's
your-
start at the end, huh? Because we
Yeah.
on this show we have not had the opportunity to recap what the trip was. We
Yeah, that's true.
Because the last time we recorded, it was the first day. So let's start at the end, I guess, of me coming back to Illinois. You, me, and Kyle came. We all drove from your house to Union Station in Kansas City early in the morning. We left, and it wasn't even fully sunlight yet. We got there, feeling all the sadness, but trying to enjoy the moment type of emotions. Also just tired. And
Yeah.
you want to know true fucking misery? Go to a train station in the morning in the middle of the week. Because those are people who do this every day. That's
This
true
is a part
misery.
of their daily commute. This is
Yeah. There is no, like, oh, I'm traveling to see Mama. Like, no, this is all motherfuckers who would rather be, like, doing gainers off the Empire State than fucking being in that particular train station at that particular time. Shout out to Nakey Jakey for that phrase. But no, we get there, and they've got this big-ass holding room with pews. You know, instead of chairs, they've got pews. So extra
easier to
layer
wipe
of...
down.
It is easier to wipe
Corona.
down. It's easier to wipe down, but it's an extra layer of guilt associated with pews.
Yeah, just fucking 20-foot long wooden benches so you
Yeah.
can think about your life.
Yeah, think about what decisions you made in life to get you in a fucking train station at 7 in the fucking morning. Or well, it was earlier. It was like 6, something. I don't know.
We got there like 6:30, something like
Yeah.
that.
So what
'Cause we were
decisions...
expecting a lot more traffic, but no one was fucking out.
Yeah, like
Which
morning
boggles
rush.
my mind.
Yeah, morning rush just did not exist. We had like 1 or 2 stoplights even. Like it was nuts. But yeah, it really depressing room to think about what decisions led you to be at the Amtrak fucking waiting room at 6:30 in the morning on a Thursday.
I think it also did not help that it was echoey as fuck in that room and no one
yeah.
was talking. Like at all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone was fucking
Dead
miserable.
silence.
Hell, there was one dude who I think either came in after you guys left or was there before, but he just didn't even wear a mask. He just didn't even have it on. And no one said... I wanted to say something, because it's a very serious fucking thing. Could lead to people being dead, but I was just so fucking like, oh, I can't talk to a stranger and tell him to wear a mask to prevent a deadly virus from possibly killing someone. But yeah, that was... But no, the thing that pissed me off, and you saw it happen, you were there, an announcement was made. We got there pretty fucking early. An announcement was made for a train that was, as it turns out, going from L.A. to Chicago. And its next line of stops was the end of that line, going from Kansas City to Chicago. Happens to go right through there. And one of the stops was a town called Naperville. Now, for those who don't know the Chicago suburbs, Naperville, not exactly the most popular among the Chicago suburbs. Generally, people there are pretentious as fuck and claim that they're all about being from Chicago when they've never actually been to anything but the bean. You know, it's people who think Giordano's is actually Chicago food. They're posers. They're posers. They're fucking. I'm derailing here. I'm sidetracking. The story is not about. The story is not about how Naperville sucks, but it's.
I feel like the kind of energy, it's like Waldo people claiming to be from Kansas City.
Oh, it's people. It's like Prairie Village claiming it's Kansas City. Prairie
So
Village.
they even got the bouginess of
Nah.
being from the really nice neighborhood.
Yeah. It's just an above average neighborhood that's not even close. That's just like, oh yeah, we're Kansas City, we're Chicago. It's like, fuck you. But anyway. Putting aside how much Naperville can go fuck their dad, that train announced to be going through Naperville. And I wanted to ask if I could get on that train, if I could transfer my ticket and get on that train. It was the last call, or it was the second to last call that you heard. I heard the last call that confirmed it after you left. And I have no confirmation whether they would have allowed me to do this, if they were like, hey, look, I'm literally going on a train right there. I've already paid for it. If it's the same price, cool. If it's more, I'll pay. Just get me out of here. Because this is what pissed me off. The train ticket I got had me leaving Union Station in Kansas City at like 7 a.m., something like that, and arriving in Joliet, that's the train station I got off at, Joliet, at 10 p.m. something, 10:20 p.m., with a 3-hour layover in St. Louis. The train that we heard leave, that went through Naperville, which is only 30 minutes from my house, that train had no layover. I was there, I could have caught it if it was possible, if it was allowed, and I would have arrived home at 2 p.m. I could have saved 8 hours of time and totally skipped the bullshit 3-hour layover where some homeless old lady kept badgering me to give money to another old lady. I could have saved 3 hours in St. Louis and 8 hours total of my life if I had just asked the fucking conductor if I could get on the train. I don't care if I would have had to pay extra. I don't give a shit. I would have done it. 8 hours of sitting on a rickety ass aluminum bucket going through bumfuck nowhere, Illinois and Missouri. I wanted to shoot someone. The only saving grace of the entire fucking trip. The only thing that made what I dealt with worth it was two things. One, I didn't have to shit on the train this time, because I did on the way down, and that was the worst part, with the possible exception of the presidential debate. But the other thing that saved it was that after I got on the train leaving St. Louis, 2 college kids were talking about Among Us on the train. And I joined in, and we played some rounds together on the train. I was playing Among Us with strangers, and it was really fun. Caveat to this story, they made me feel fucking old as shit, because they were 19 and 18, and when I told them I was 25, they were like, oh, wow, sure, man, we're like... I felt like Master Roshi trying to buddy up to Goku and Krillin when they're kids training on fucking Turtle Island or whatever the hell. I swear to God, at one point I think I referenced like E-Bomb's World or something, and they thought I spoke like Yiddish at them. I was very...
You know all those fucking videos you see of old animations? That was my childhood. Shut the fuck up.
That was the best we had, and now it's some random clip at the end of a TikTok where someone has just plastered their face in front of it. and said, "Remember this?" Like, yeah, I remember it, and I'd like your fucking stupid face not to be green screened in front of it. This is a very ranty episode. First Naperville, now young people. Is that what this is becoming?
Damn those young people.
You've already started wearing suspenders, but I'm gonna have to get some like corduroy pants and a rocking chair to put out on the porch and start yelling at random birds that fly by too loud. That's my future. That's what I'm gonna be dealing with. But anyway,
I wish I had the fucking like social strength to like sit somewhere and just scream at randos going by.
oh man, I wish, and I would be so scared because if they stopped, where am I gonna run? Inside? They'll know where I went. That's my house. That's the only place I could have gone. If I go elsewhere, then they're alone at my house.
You set up your rocking chair on one of your neighbors'
Yeah,
porches.
right? I'll set up my rocking chair on the porch of someone I don't like, piss someone off, then bail and have their house get assaulted. That's the true revenge. That's how to weaponize crotchetiness.
That's some 4D chest right there.
Oh man. In all honesty, if we work backwards and actually talk about the trip itself, like there's not much in terms of like specific things. There's a couple of moments that are definitely noteworthy, but the biggest takeaway for me was just being so fucking happy to be in that that place with these people. And you know, your hospitality was second to none, by the way. Like, I got into your guest room and there was like towels and toiletries wrapped up in a fucking bow and folded on the bed. Like, you'd have to pay hundreds of dollars to get a hotel that would treat you that nice.
I don't know. It's just what I was raised to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. It's a compliment, man. It's a compliment. You don't have to justify it. But that was really nice, and you know, it was really fun seeing you and Kyle again. And I also got to see my dad. He showed me the house he and his wife are basically rebuilding in I won't say the town because it's a pretty small town, but they're rebuilding a town in a kind of rural. They're rebuilding a house in a rural town in Kansas. Which
good luck finding that, fuckers. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of ground to cover there, and there's not a lot to do in between. There's no sights to see. But unfortunate news there is their house actually got vandalized. There was a doorway that they had put like a board in front of because they're planning on kind of fixing it up and kind of putting a wall there.
Yeah.
But someone kicked in the board and like spray painted it and kind of messed with their stuff. This is actually the second time that someone's broken into their house since they've started this project. The first time, they know who it was, and it wasn't a vandalizing. They broke in and stole some shit, but it was because someone else had a beef with someone else, and it was whatever. And this second time,
new people lived there, I'm guessing.
pretty much, yeah. It was really early on. This second time, they just sort of like generically tagged the door. It was nothing pointed. They were like, "Get out of our town, you shitty loving," I don't know, but
Whatever.
yeah. It wasn't anything pointed, so it wasn't like a hate crime. It wasn't anything against them in particular. It was just some random fuck who just did a act of rebellion. And so while it does
Again,
suck,
probably thought the house was
yeah,
abandoned.
It is an old
Or
house. It dates back to like 1870s.
abandoned, or probably it was. My guess was they thought it was a contractors. Like they're we're gonna build a new suburb or some shit.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, and it's a nice house. It's got a really solid framework. It's just a lot needs to be done to like replace rotted stuff, or like the walls. They're updating the plumbing and the wiring because basically people had moved in over generations and had just replaced stuff that didn't work, but kept all the old stuff that did work until it became this like mismatched fucking mess of like electrical wiring that dated all the way back to like I said, the 1870s, all the way until the last people who lived there, which was only a couple decades ago. And so basically,
Which,
they had
honestly,
to go ahead.
thinking about it, how like fucking bougie and rich were the people who lived there to begin with? Like in
Well,
the
actually,
1820s to have a house with electricity.
yeah. I said 1870s first of all.
1870s.
Yeah, I don't think the house was built without electric or plumbing in mind. Like electric and plumbing came to this house. It did not. This house did not come with any of those things. It originally had an outhouse out by a small babbling brook that kind of runs through the property. And so over the years, they added electricity and added plumbing. And so none of the house was purposed for that. But the walls are this really sturdy, like fucking thick it's like, I don't know how, it's like almost a foot and a half thick stone walls. Like this, you could shoot this house and the bullet ain't getting through the wall. And so, yeah, it's really solid, and they've put a lot of work into it. They've been digging trenches and doing new piping, and they've put in some electric so that they can have like a stereo. They've put in cameras to keep the place safe because they're only able to go down there once a week. Because they both got jobs up in where they're living now, which is more KC Mo area. But yeah, they've been really working on it. They're really hoping that they can get it to a livable condition by like April. And at that point, they'll be able to get it a lot quicker, since they'll be there, But it was a really cool thing to see because like when they were redoing some of the walls, the internal walls, mind you, they found like these old letters from like the 1800s that had like dates and like writing and from like a quill and shit. And so like I encourage them to talk to like the historical society and shit about that because that's cool. That's some cool shit.
Some local museum
Yeah.
type shit.
So I got to see that. I also got to hang out with Aaron on a different day to see his new apartment. He's got 2 roommates now, one of which is currently playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Thank you for telling me, Steam. It's really
Fine.
funny that
I got buzzed that one of my friends is playing WoW during this. I'm hoping it didn't show up.
So yeah, it's cool. He's got a really nice place now. I'm really happy for it. Like you were in the apartment we all shared in Ottawa a good number of times. Like the new place he's at now blows it out of the fucking water. Like it's not like bougie, mind you, but it's enough that all 3 of them have to live there to pay for it, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really glad for him. Notable moments with other people aside, I also was supposed to see Ivy, but there were concerns over obviously the coronavirus, and so she couldn't make the trip. But apart from that, it was entirely you and me, plus whenever Ethan and Kyle could and would show up. I guess that deserves a first mention. At no point during the many mentions of this trip leading up to it did either of us mention Ethan, because I didn't know to, and you had no reason to.
I didn't really think about it, honestly.
Yeah. But so for those who are unfamiliar, Ethan is another guy that we went to high school with who oh my god, what the hell's going on?
My dogs, they're stampeding. Hello, Charlie.
Aw, I miss your dogs. They're so sweet.
I know, you always sound like you were about to cry anytime you...
Yeah.
Yes,
Every
that's a
time I was
microphone, Charlie.
Every time I was petting Mac, I sounded like I was gonna cry. It's because I was. They're so sweet. I miss mac and cheese. But Ethan was a guy that we went to high school with who, he moved away soon after high school. We didn't really hang out much in high school. He was like a lunch friend, you know, the friend you have lunch with. And then after I moved away, or maybe concurrently, I don't remember.
I think it was concurrently.
Yeah,
Like, he
I
got in
never
contact with us.
Yeah, he moved back, and his story is not mine to tell. And I'm sure he would be like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I don't feel comfortable with it personally. Yeah. But he's a new person. He's not the same guy we knew in high school. And he is a very frequent visitor of you and your house. And so he just started showing up, and I was like, oh, hey, who's what the fuck? And so...
Because he would just walk in and the dogs wouldn't care. And
yeah. And that's how you know you're frequent, when the pets don't even see it as a novelty. Like, it's... Yeah, so I had to phrase it specifically, because at no point was I, like, angry that he was there, but I had to clarify that I came down to see you and Kyle and Aaron and Dad and Ivy, but I didn't come down to see Ethan. Yeah. And so I spent a lot of time trying to figure him out, and he's not an easy person to figure out and communicate with if you don't know how to, or you haven't spent a lot of time with him. Because he's a different kind of cat, you know. But I didn't want to be rude. I didn't want to like say like, hey, could you not have him here? Because there was nothing wrong with him. He didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing wrong. It was just awkward. It was kind of
new person. Yeah. Old friends don't really like say anything, or kind of just treat him like he's always been there.
Yeah, it's like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Didn't like a very notable, like, yeah, it was when Fuller House happened, but Mary-Kate and Ashley did not come back.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's this sort of yeah, everything else is the same. It's a little older, a little updated, but there's an obvious glaring difference that no one is talking about that really throws the dynamic of the entire thing off balance.
Also kind of reminds me of the same kind of thought process of when they switch actors for characters and no one mentions it. Like
War Machine,
the mom from Family Matters in like the last season.
Yeah.
This is a completely different, or what was it? This was something I found hilarious on that same show.
Uh-huh.
Season 4, they sent up their little sister to her room for punishment, and then you never see her again. She's just gone.
Yeah, because they wanted to make the show more about Urkel. And so they just wrote the character off screen after sending her to her room. And so in the land of make-believe, she's still there, just locked in her room for the rest of her dying days.
5 years.
I hope you enjoyed that fucking cookie or whatever the hell you did. That was a life sentence and we did not know. Um, so, but yeah, so yeah, it was a little awkward, but you know, it wasn't a bad thing. Um, so a couple of notable events. We destroyed your dishwasher. You want to tell that story?
Oh yeah. Okay. So, one, don't super trust Marketplace, especially if they're giving shit away for free.
Yeah.
Um, and the worst part is the seller bitched and moaned when we reported them for uh,
Mm-hmm.
lying. Whatever, false
Yeah, false
advertisement or something.
advertising. Yeah.
Because they claim not to know, but it's literally the first thing you found out about if you go
Yeah.
on Whirlpool's website is, hey, this specific wash machine is broken as fuck.
Yeah.
Don't buy it.
Oh, man.
Um, but so we went out and we picked it up. I coordinated a truck because I assumed it'd be heavy. Because
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never moved a dishwasher before. Who was I to know that it weighed 20 pounds?
Yeah, it's a big hollow box.
But all I assumed was like I knew that you had to technically get like certified workers to like move it and install it, so I assumed heavy.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
But got it back, looked it up, turned out to be broken as shit. We took one item from it, which I guess makes it worth the free,
Yeah.
because it was like just the little silverware tray. We just stole that out of it. That was it. The rest of it went in a dumpster
Yeah.
after this. So we were trying to figure out what to do with it, and then in it we got Vivian coordinated to come visit, and we were like, we have large implements and fireworks, and blowing things up or destroying them is fun.
It is fun, but apparently not a very popular concept if you're being asked to have it done on your property.
Hey, I would have done it, but Miriam
Well,
is kind of
oh yeah.
anal.
Yeah. You would but couldn't, and the people who could wouldn't.
I don't
Original.
see the problem.
Originally, the idea was to like load it up with fireworks or some sort of low intensity explosive and take it out to one of Kyle's relatives' place. They have a lot of land. We would have had to clean it up, get some fire protection in the place, but and sure, that's what we were planning on doing. But they put the kibosh on that. They didn't want us out there doing that. And so we kind of had to improvise. And so after mulling it over Mongolian barbecue, we just were like, you know, we have a lot of heavy shit, like utensils. And and Kyle has a backyard and no parental supervision, so let's exploit these things and combine them into one unholy trinity that is smashing the fuck out of this thing in his backyard with a variety of tools, the best of which, the deck wrecker.
Oh yeah, I did not expect that thing to have so much fucking heft behind it.
Oh yeah, it is a tool. For those who don't know what a deck wrecker is, it is a tool designed to destroy decks, like a porch, an elevated porch that'd be attached to like big planks of wood that have been like weatherproofed and like with big nails and steel holding it together. This is meant to destroy that. And so you take that and you swing it at a dishwasher. Yeah, we had a good time. We also had
right through most of it.
oh yeah, man, it was good. We also had an axe, and we had a couple axes and a smaller throwing axe. And by the end of it, Yumi and Kyle took turns, And by the end of it, it looked like we had blown it up. Like, it would probably have been in less pieces had we blown it up.
Yeah. Because it really wasn't lighting on fire either.
Nah, we tried.
God bless Whirlpool and their flame retardant.
Yeah.
They really worked hard.
Oh yeah,
Hi,
that's the
Charlie.
one.
Do you need
The one.
something?
The one thing that worked on that dishwasher was the flame proofing. And then we cleaned it all up and we deposited it at an undisclosed location, and because that doesn't make it sound ominous at all, and that was that. It was a good time, and yeah.
Oh, speaking of one of the other parts, did finally get the basement all cleaned and ready for actual people to be down there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was an emotional moment, an emotional
Yeah.
beat of the trip. Caleb's basement is a very special place that only that only a few people have been graced with the experience of being down there for long periods of time with limited access to food and water. And the many weapons we're in. The thing is, I'm not lying when I say any of this, but it certainly doesn't paint the most accurate picture. We played D&D in Caleb's basement. He transformed it into a den of sorts. He added lights and carpeting and a lot of seats, comfortable seats, a TV. There was a microwave down there, a mini fridge, a sound system, rotating colorful light bulbs and many colored lamps. It was a good fucking den, and a center table, and a lot of interesting ornaments and tools and toys, weapons, a fuck ton of alcohol, and just not enough trash cans to go around. So we just used the rest of the place as one. And we spent every week, sometimes multiple times a week, God knows how many hours per session down in that basement playing D&D, having a grand fucking time. When we weren't playing D&D down there, we were having heart-to-heart conversations, a lot of those hypotheticals that we would have fun with, listening to music and vibing, playing video games, playing board games. That was like a home away from home for
watching and critiquing porn that one time.
Yeah, that did happen.
I remember just looking over and wondering what the hell you guys were doing.
Me and Nate we were so bored because we were at a point in the campaign where only like a couple people could play out of the group because the group had separated, which pro tip to anyone wanting to do a fucking campaign, keep your group together because your players will revolt. And the way we revolted was we pulled up just a random video off of Pornhub, and me and Nate just started critiquing all the ways it was unrealistic. Such as why they would choose to bend a girl over a thin wire balcony when it was obviously cold outside. It was metal. That's uncomfortable and certainly not safe. And it was just and unrealistic angles, and what did the neighbors think, and all just kinds of good stuff. We filmed videos down there too of not porn videos, but got kind of close one time because we got Nate in a nurse's outfit riding the pole. In that same video, I shot you, and Patrick made brownies. That was all one video. What is our life?
Let your imagination take that and figure out how that all makes sense.
Oh man, but yeah, that was also the room where we finished the Fallout 3 Let's Play. We recorded test episodes of all of the above down there. Point is, that room meant a lot to all of us, still does. And hell, you live in that house, and going in that basement felt like going to a different place. And I kept remarking throughout the visit how we never went down there because we didn't really have much of a reason to. Usually we were hanging out upstairs or going out and doing a thing. But downstairs, all there is your laundry and that room where we could have played games, but for some reason we just never did until like the day before. It was like the second to last day or so. You and I went down there, and I cried. I cried multiple times. It's a very emotional moment. It more so than seeing like the familiar streets, or not more so than seeing the people, because obviously you and Kyle mean more to me than any room, but more so than seeing any other place, being in that room felt like coming home, in a sense. And yeah, the emotions flowed. We talked about some serious stuff. It was a very good moment, and I'm really glad that we got to do that at some point, because it was something that needed to happen. It would have been wrong to make the trip and not go down there, you know. The only thing that could have made it better, I guess, is if the one time we tried to play D&D and Kyle just screwed the pooch, is if it had been down there in the D&D room.
Would have made more sense for it to screw the pooch, yeah.
Oh, man. You absolutely demolished us in Monopoly. That was something that happened. You and Ethan formed a dubious master-servant relationship. And
hey man, he just went bankrupt and I got all of his shit.
Yep. And then he became a chaos player, and then all this combined with some of the most lucky fucking rolls I had ever seen in my life. There were numerous places on the board where if you had landed on like 2 or 3 of them, you'd have been dead. But you never did. You always managed to just snake around them, and it was the most insane. Like, I couldn't even be mad. Like, Kyle got mad because it was his spaces that you kept avoiding. Mad. Kyle was just pissed. But he tends to exist in a permanent state of almost mad anyway. But I was so baffled and amazed I couldn't even be mad about losing. Like, it was just too good.
Because I even gave you a fucking park place to set up your death trap at the end of the...
Yeah, and it was nuts. There was visiting the we played Cards Against Humanity. We also played the Do You Know Your Meme TikTok edition.
Which
we tried
despite its name is actually not that cringy.
Yeah. I'd be interested in combining the TikTok cards with the black cards from Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think at that point that might be even better. But we had to go to like 4 different places to find Cards Against Humanity at all.
And we ended up getting it from a small mom and pop.
Yeah, an indie card store, which my brother was very excited to hear about.
To a coffee shop.
Yeah, they shared a gaping hole where a door could be if they put one there, but they don't have one. Which very cool. I'm very, very proud of them. There was... we giving blood. You, me, and Ethan went to go give blood, and I got denied for the second time in my life. I've tried to give blood twice, and both times they turned me away. That was upsetting. Did not
At least the
appreciate that
second
one.
time was for they thought you had a fever.
Yeah, like it was the first time I got denied. The short version of it is I fucked a man, and they were just like, nah. But this time during the trip, they tested our temperatures a lot because we're at a hospital during a pandemic. Makes sense.
Yeah.
They tested my temperature 4 times. Twice with the forehead thing that both said I was fine. Then they tested my temperature and blood pressure with one machine twice, both of which said that I was not in the acceptable range, and so they denied me. They did not check. They did not get someone else to do it. They did not try a different machine. They just kicked me the fuck out. So I got to go and cry in your car in a parking lot while I waited for you and Ethan to do the thing that I really wanted to do. And I got a sticker that says I tried to give blood that you had to grab for me because they didn't even give me that.
Which honestly is hilarious that they have that.
Oh yeah.
And is a little demeaning that they also have that.
Just a little.
Little double-bladed sword there.
Mm-hmm. Just a little salt in the wound.
It's like a non-ironic I went to blank and all I got was this t-shirt.
Yeah, right? What was your favorite moment from the trip, or at least some of them, because you don't have to rank them or anything.
Yeah. Honestly, it was like the game nights and just talking, and the few times we got to be alone and just have a conversation again.
Yeah, because all of these moments were interspersed with long periods of time where it was just you and me, just sort of hanging out and maybe watching a video, chatting, and like, I mean, we couldn't have a podcast where we were talking together if we didn't enjoy talking. And
Yeah.
And so we just got to hang out and enjoy chatting and and catching up and sharing, and it was really nice. The unfortunate news.
Unbeknownst to the listeners, we talk about actual things. Actual things we don't super feel comfortable talking to random strangers about.
Yeah. Our conversations in private tend to be a little more fucking personal than me just ragging on a random town or talking about shitting on a train.
But also, who names themselves Neighborsville? Fuck that.
Not Neighborsville, Naperville.
Naper. It's even
Yeah.
dumber. What's a Naper?
It's a nape. Because it's on a river.
The nape of your neck?
No, it's on a river, bro.
Oh.
At least that's what yeah. The unfortunate news about this talk of travel is that me and Bri are financially fine. We're okay. But but the trip did cost a good amount. Not more than we planned for, because we did plan in advance. But it did cost a good few $100s. And so because of that, and in combination with us repaying some debts and a few complications here or there, it's going to be a bit before we have near enough money to possibly save up to do another trip. What the hell is going on?
Mac is decided to sit at my feet and chew his bone.
Cute boy. But yeah, it unless I get some financial help from some folks,
Some beautiful, generous
from some kind souls, that will surely be repaid in the next life.
Okay, listen, we're not Gen X. We don't feel comfortable putting everything on a goddamn credit card and doing whatever we want.
Yeah, we're the overly financially responsible. We'd be depressed if we had thousands in savings. But yeah, the main thing is I don't know that I'll be able to afford to travel anytime soon. Which, granted, shouldn't be traveling right now anyway, unless you're taking a lot of the precautions, which I did. I was quarantining and stayed safe, wore a mask on the Amtrak the entire time. Amtrak themselves kept to like 5% capacity and forced social distancing by not letting anyone sit with anyone that didn't come on the train with together. Like, if you're traveling with a kid of yours, you can sit with them, but like strangers, no one sat together that did not come together. And they constantly were wiping stuff down and constantly getting on people that thought that, they could just put down their mask because they're on the train. But yeah, I don't know when the next trip will be able to happen. We're also trying to save up to put in a fence on our property, so that Spoofy can have a place he can run and play, and not be permanently on a chain whenever he's outside. And even if we put that in ourselves and buy all the material ourselves, that's going to be a lot of money. So I don't know when I'll be able to come and see you again. And given all the stuff you're doing, I don't know if you'll be able to come visit me anytime soon. But I know that at some point down the line, even if the next time that we see each other in person is for our 10-year high school graduation reunion, it's going to happen. And we will see each other again.
Like it's a long time, but that's 3 years.
Yeah, it's not far. Like,
I keep forgetting that because it does not feel like we've been out of high school that long.
Yeah, I know. Like that was something that with those damn youngins on the train reminded me. It was like I thought that I was like typical college age still, subconsciously. I knew I was 25, which is not old by any means, but I still thought of myself as being between 18 and 20, 22. But I'm not.
Felt like you're a 20-something. No, you're 25.
Yeah, and it was weird. It was weird. It was the first time that happened where I was around people that I thought were my peers and still felt old. Because I feel old around, like, teenagers. I feel old around kids. But people that I thought were my age, but I'm older, that's a new thing. That hasn't happened often. So, yeah, I found the recording, the television broadcast of our high school graduation. I found that on YouTube yesterday. And I saw some old familiar faces. There was a good close-up of Nate with his ridiculous sideburns.
When he was trying out mutton chops, I think.
Yep. It also reminded me how fucking windy it was that day, because the footage of everyone walking down the aisle is everyone holding their hats and the robes flying everywhere was fucking hilarious. and then I had to try to listen because I was reading. I was one of the readers of the names. And I wanted to listen to see if it was as over the top and dramatic and ridiculous as I remembered. How do you remember it? So we can get a baseline here.
It's kind of hard. Like, actually thinking about it, I got sat next to, like, a few people I was actually kind of friends with, so we were just kind of shooting the shit while sitting there in the wind. But I remember it being, like, more professional. I remember that the girl who did the speech, I felt was a little long-winded.
Yeah.
But, I just remember it being very professional. I wouldn't have pegged it as being as you were reading, though.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I listened to it, and it sounds like someone trying to sound good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound good. In hindsight, it because I thought I was remembering it as having this like kind of a deep and I'm speaking now kind of thing, and no, it sounded like I'm speaking now. Ooh, listen to my deep voice. No, it was so bad. It was better than anyone else. I'll say that much, because everyone else was like, "I'm gonna read now." Caleb Evans, and that was for graduation. That's what they were saying. But then I get up and I'm like, Caleb Evans, and it's still not good, but it's better.
You're trying, like...
Yeah, trying arguably too hard, but I was trying, which was better than everyone else. Oh man.
That just reminds me of your college graduation. Just sitting there thinking, are we gonna have to fucking stay here for the tornado?
Yeah, fucking... Yeah, that is weird. I have a weird track record of it being windy as fuck on my graduation days. Because during my college graduation, you and Kyle came to sit there in the crowd, and my dad was there too. He got, like, a way worse seat than you guys did. You guys were, like... Oh, right up near the stage and only a couple rows up. My dad was in the back, like rows up. Like he was fucking nowhere close to the stage.
Which is weird, because we got there after him. I remember we got sat, and I was like, hey, he said his dad's here. Let's see if we can spot him. And we saw him down there, and I was like, how did he get that spot? And we're over here.
I don't know. I have no idea how it happened. But yeah, so that's the story of our graduations and the trip. I have one last story I'd like to end off on, because it is something pretty big that happened to me here recently. And we have been going for a bit. So do you have time for one more story?
Oh yeah. I got something to do, but I can put it off for a little while. All I'm really doing is staring at Mac at the moment.
Nice. I'll try to keep it as brief as is deserved. Last Monday, I experienced the first very serious resurgence of my suicidal depression that I've had in a long time. I wouldn't say a long time, but in a while. And it was because of something that, for the record, for full transparency, I have filed a legitimate complaint against the Medical Board of Illinois. Not against the Medical Board, but with the Medical Board of Illinois, because I was verbally and, in a way, physically abused by a doctor on Monday. So, this is not a fun story. To get that in there. I don't know what, like, I've not been told. I'm not currently seeking legal action, but I have not ruled that out. Um, but I do not currently have reason to believe that I am not allowed to say this story. But yeah, I
I
received.
would, I would
Mhm.
keep it to a minimum if you're planning on legal action, like no names and crap like that.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna say names anyway because that that th- as much as I despise the motherfucker that did this to me, um, I'm putting my faith first in the process, and if the process fails me, then I'm coming after this motherfucker. But anyway, um, legally, legally coming after him, I wouldn't. Jesus,
Yeah.
this is why phrasing fucking matters. But so I am currently in the process of trying to get a claim of disability processed. Very difficult to do considering what's going on in the world right now. A lot of people are applying for disability in general, but also because of what's going on. I applied in August of 2019. I have applied twice previously in Kansas, getting denied both times, but according to the statistics, that is more common in Kansas to get denied than it is to get approved. But apparently, Illinois has a better rate of success. Now, as a part of getting this process done, I've had to fill out numerous forms and be subjected to a lot of paperwork and trying to get shit handled, like calling hospitals and trying to get shit sent in, medical records myself, because the people who were supposed to do it were taking too long or having problems. I was very involved in this process. The final step is to get independently examined by medical professionals to examine the field most pertinent to the claim's specifics. I filed for mental and physical disability, and as such, I received a telephone examination for my mental health, which I completed about a month ago. And then this past week, on Monday, was my physical health examination. It took place in a town that's like 50-minute drive away from where I live, because there's only a select few people that work with Social Security, and it seems like they've been doing it forever and they never get anyone new. And so by this point, it seems they are always fucking jaded as shit, because they probably get a lot of fucking wagon chasers and fraudulent claims. And so these people can be understood for having little patience. But what this guy did was beyond fucking understandable or beyond excusable. I arrived at the facility, and I couldn't find the fucking place, first of all. I had to drive around the building like 3 times trying to find the fucking entrance. It was in a strip mall. But I got in. I had to call to have them bring out a clipboard for me to fill out, and it was raining, so I had to go back into my car, fill it out. Then I had to put like plastic booties on my feet. Couldn't even wear I could wear my sandals into the facility, but I had to leave them like under the chair by the door. And I had to wear gloves. And I was carrying a cane, which I carry on occasion because my back has a tendency to just be a bitch sometimes. Just out of nowhere, I'll be doing okay, and then it's like, hey, go fuck yourself, sponge, and I'll just crumble. It happens. So I don't need a cane on the regular, but I don't really know. There's no real way to gauge my back stamina, or not stamina, but stability, I guess. That's not the right word, but it's the closest one I can come to. How long it'll hold up. That's why I also use the motor cart at Walmart because with my herniated disc and my osteoarthritis and my ankles, mobility cannot be guaranteed for any length of time. So I come in, and the person who's doing the intake, they lead me to the examination room, and they take my blood pressure on one of those wrist ones. It's just a little machine. And it's a little higher than they'd like it, but they're like, it might be because of the machine, so we'll have the doctor, when he comes in, do a more traditional with the pump and the fucking armband thing to get a better reading.
You're also, like, uncomfortable, so it's going to raise your blood pressure a little bit.
Oh, yeah, because that's the thing is, despite me not getting examined for my mental health, this is still me being very vulnerable about my medical condition, which is something that I do my best to try to avoid. Even like you've seen me do it plenty of times where Kyle will try to park as close to the building as possible to accommodate my lack of mobility. But when he starts being like, is this a good place? Are you good to walk from here? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Jesus, you don't have to whatever. It's because it's a form of delusion, like a willful delusion. I admit that. But I don't like to live my life as if I have the impairments. And so I try my best to make sure people around me don't know it. But when it's very hard to hide when you have to ride a motor cart or when you're having a mental health crisis. And I have a lot of problems with depression and anxiety, and so having to let anyone know, even if it's a fucking doctor, is a terrifying prospect to me. So the person taking, bringing me in, she does her thing, she leaves, tells me the doctor will be in, he'll start with doing the blood pressure and then go into the examination. To wrap this whole thing up in a bow before I even get into the details, the following events happened over the course of 5 minutes. The entire examination took 5 minutes. It took longer to get me from my car into the room than it took for me to get from the examinations which began with the doctor coming into the room. I don't count the wait time. Then it took from the examination to start for me to get back to my car. So, he eventually comes in. First thing to note, he does not do the blood pressure thing. He doesn't even fucking measure it. This dude was so fucking rude, it was unbelievable. He did not greet, which I understand. I don't mandate you say hi to me. But any of these things might sound small. You gotta wait until the whole thing has compiled.
Yeah.
And then you'll realize why this was so fucking problematic. He started in with the questions that you have to ask. He brought in some papers that he's filling out on a clipboard. And there's no pleasantries at all. He's asking questions very pointedly and pretty loudly, too. Like, I'm deaf, and when I'm having problems with someone's volume level, that being too high, that's fucking loud.
Yeah.
What he would do is he would ask a question, I would begin to answer, and then he would immediately move on to the next question. He wouldn't even wait till I was answering before he started writing something down and asking the next question. And he did this over stuff like family medical history. Do you have any mental problems that we should know about? Why do you have the cane? He asked me about the cane and then said I couldn't use it for the examination, which I get that. You know, you're trying to see how you are without assistance. So I understand. It didn't make sense why later on he would let me lean against the wall.
Because that's kind of the point of a cane.
Yeah. But after this quick round of interrogation where, again, not listening to what I'm telling him, and is just loudly interrupting and moving on to the next questions, he tells me to get up from the chair I was sitting in, which was just a normal chair against the wall, to the examination table. And that is an elevated spot and was difficult for me. And I expressed verbal discomfort and pain while doing that. I'm very vocal with my pain. But I understand it's necessary, so I do it. I get up there, and he sees that I have ankle braces on. He tells me to take those off. Now, the thing is, I understand this is a mobility test to see what you can do without assistance. Those ankle braces are the difference between me being able to stand or not. Okay? Like, my ankles, when I can't walk to the end of my drive without feeling that someone is sticking a knife through my ankle bones if I don't have those ankle braces on. But I try to explain this. He cuts me off, so I just take them off. I put them on the examination table behind me. So he's going to check my breathing. With the stethoscope, you press it against someone's back, you tell them to breathe in deep, breathe out deep. He spent more time adjusting the piece of tissue that he put between the stethoscope and my body than actually listening when I was breathing. What he would do is he would press it, and he would say, take a deep breath. And I would start taking a deep breath in, and he would take it off and start moving to the next thing. To the next spot, because he tests in 2 different spots on the back and the front. But he didn't wait longer than a literal second to listen to whatever the fuck was going on with my breathing. And he did that with all 4 times. Then he told me to lay on my back. Very difficult thing for me to do. When I had to get a... what is the test where you get, like, put into the tube and they... Like, you can't... Yeah, when I had to get an MRI done, I was laying on my back, and when I was not able to get up of my own volition or walk after laying down for my MRI. And that was less than an hour. So laying flat on my back on anything other than a bed, very fucking difficult for me, especially if I have to get right back up afterwards. And so moving at a breakneck speed and barking out orders like a drill sergeant, he tells me to lay on my back. And the test is to see how far I can lift my legs up. And so I start to lift my legs up, and I'm vocalizing that it's hurting. And he yells at me to lift them higher, even touching my leg and pushing it higher. And I'm like, ow, fuck, and I'm like apologizing for swearing. He does it for both legs. And then he walks away from the table and tells me to stand up. Stand up. Not sit up, stand up from me laying back down flat on my back. So I'm fucking hurting real bad at this point. Takes me a minute, but I get up. And he tells me to start doing these stretch movements, like try to touch your toes, squatting, walk on your heels, and walk on the balls of your feet. Kind of doing, like a drunk driving test almost. And all the while, my legs are shaking, and I'm expressing my being in pain. Groans, yelping, swearing, apologizing for swearing, because I'm in a lot of fucking pain. And then finally, the last one was the squat. How you're supposed to poop. He had me do that. And I got down as far as I could go. And then he tells me that, all right, get back, that's it. So I start to stand back up, and my back spasmed so badly, I nearly collapsed. I actually fell back against the wall and had to prop myself up on the counter, and I maneuvered my way over to the chair to sit down. He didn't even try to fucking help me, by the way. Instead, what he does is he opens the door and begins to loudly demand me to, quote, leave now. And I'm like, is the test over? I asked him if the test is over. He said, no. Grab your stuff and leave. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking at this point, maybe there's like a walking test. Like, how long can you walk? You'll walk from here to the lobby or around the office or whatever. Because I'm expecting this test to last like maybe 30 minutes or something, right? Because I'd read up on these tests, and the standard is like 40 minutes to an hour. And so I start putting my ankle braces on, or I'm going to grab them, which they're still on the examination table, so I'm trying to like get up to like grab them. And he says, no, just grab their stuff and leave now. Again, he keeps saying leave now. And so I'm like, oh shit, okay, maybe since it's still part of the examination, I'm thinking I can't use my assistance with the ankle braces.
Yeah.
So I struggle to get up. I grab my purse, my ankle braces, and I grab the cane. And I'm using the cane at this point because I have to. And he turns around and yells at me and tells me to not use the cane. So I'm like, okay, this definitely has to be a part of the examination, but you stop fucking yelling at me and stop repeating, leave now. So the examination room is right around from this little wall that divides that from the lobby. It's a very small place. Again, strip mall. I go around the corner, and he points at the door leading to outside, and he says, leave now. And I'm like, so the examination's over. Are you telling me to leave? He's like, yes, leave. I'm like, what the fuck? Are we testing my what the fuck? And so he points at my shoes, like, put them on and leave. So there's a chair there. They've got most of the chairs blocked off in the lobby for social distancing. They don't even let anyone sit in the lobby. You have to sit out in your car until they're ready for you. Totally understand. My sandals are underneath the seat, and I've got these fucking plastic booties on that are making it slippery on this fucking tile floor. So I start to sit down because, one, I fucking need to, and two, because I need to get my ankle braces on before I put my sandals on. Otherwise, I don't have anywhere else to do that. I can't, where I don't live anywhere near here. And I had other shit I was planning on doing after this that needed me to be able to walk. But he opens the fucking door to the fucking clinic and tells me not to sit down and to leave. And so I'm like, I can't even fucking put my ankle braces on. I slip on my sandals, and he stops me. And he says, are you a male or a female? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you've been yelling at me to leave.
Forget to get that on the first?
Yeah. It's like, they asked that on the paper that I signed at the beginning of all this. So I tell him I'm biologically a male. And he says, is that what you want me to tell the state? I'm like, yes? What the fuck kind of question is this? And it's not like I was wearing my skirt or anything. I had just like sweatpants and a t-shirt on. Yes, I had my purse, but my name, all my shit was written down with my legal name and my biological sex, and everything was written properly according to my medical stuff, because I identify as non-binary, but that's not medical. They asked for my sex. I get that. And so I use my legal name because I'm not about to have that whole fucking discussion. It's medical stuff. I don't fuck with that. So I tell him, yes, tell the state that. And can I ask you a question? How did this examination go? What are your conclusions? Because throughout this entire thing, all he's doing is like scribbling large fucking swaths of ink across this paper he brought in, and not even looking at me when I'm doing all these fucking stretches and yoga shit. It wasn't actually yoga, but it was like the fucking, all this bending and stuff. He wouldn't even look at me. He was just scribbling on this fucking paper. Just large fucking strokes across these diagrams I can't even get a good look at because, again, I wasn't even wearing my glasses during this fucking thing. So I ask him, like, what is the result? Like, what the fuck do you think? And he's like, it has nothing to do with me. I just send it to the state. And he's like shuffling me out of the door and then closes it in my fucking face. And there's no chairs outside. I collapse against this fucking cement thing that's jutting out from the wall a little bit, like one of those weird little cement lines that go around a building. I lean against that, and I lean against that, and I'm like, I'm like trying to bend down to maybe put my ankle braces on because I'm holding a cane that he wouldn't let me use, my ankle braces, my glasses, my purse, and I've got booties on my feet between that and my sandals, and I have to put my ankle braces on in the car because I don't have anywhere else to sit, and I don't bend that fucking well. I'm 400 fucking pounds. I don't bend well at all because guess what? I'm fucking mobility impaired. So I get in the car, I'm fucking crying because at this point I have been yelled at for 5 minutes straight. I've had a dude totally disregard all my medical problems that I live with every fucking day and treat like it's burdening him. I've been yelled at to leave multiple times, told not to use the things I need to help me move around. I felt disregarded. I felt disrespected. I felt like I was being treated like I was a burden, like I was bothering him. I wanted to drive into a fucking semi, and I tried calling Bree, but she was like asleep, didn't have her ringer on or whatever, and so I didn't have any. I didn't know what to fucking do. I was supposed to pick up a Casey's pizza because I love the Casey's breakfast pizzas, and so but when I tried to go there and calm down in the parking lot, I tried to pick up the pizza. They didn't put the order in. So Casey's fucked me over there. They took my order, but they just didn't like actually submit it and try to do it. And so I didn't even wait. I was just like, I was so fucking upset that I gave up eating Casey's breakfast pizza because I was so fucking upset. And so I don't even know if I covered everything, but the biggest takeaway is that all of that shit, being in extreme pain, being yelled at, being disregarded, being overlooked. The guy was not looking at me. He didn't do his tests properly. He was loud. He was arrogant. He was a asshole. All of these things happened in 5 minutes. I know because I have the call logs to prove it. I had to call to get let into the building, and I called Bree as soon as I was out, and including the time that it took for them to get me in the room, do the initial blood pressure test, and for me to wait for the fucker to actually get in the room, it would be impossible for anyone to claim that the appointment took anything more than 5 fucking minutes. I voted that day too. That has nothing to do with the story. The point is, I attempted to file a complaint against the guy literally the next day, but they were so overwhelmed with calls that they gave me an email, but I didn't write down the email in time, and I didn't want to fucking wait for the machine to tell me, so I figured I'll get it another time, because that when I was calling was close to 5 anyway. Then when I called the second time a couple days later, because mind you, I was put in such a severe state of depression through this, I was fucked. I was trying to do things with I couldn't get anything done. I'm fucking up my diet. I was getting into fights with friends. Like, this fucked me up really fucking badly. And it is also important to note the whole point of why I was there was so that he could evaluate whether or not I could get disability, because his job was to determine the validity of my disability claim. And if because he didn't do his job properly, if he says that I'm not properly disabled, I could be denied Social Security disability, which means I could suffer financial loss because of this dude, in addition to the severe emotional distress he caused me that almost caused me to end my fucking life. I think that's fucking grounds for at least a complaint, if not a fucking lawsuit. So, finally, I called and they sent me to a call line that gave me a different email. I typed out the long fucking version of my complaint. They sent me an email back saying, you got the wrong fucking people. This is the people you actually need to contact. And so that sent me to another website that sent me to a form, and the form required it be less than 5,000 characters, so I had to shorten my complaint. But then I submitted it. And I got the receipt that they received my complaint and that they're going to be investigating it earlier today. And that's the furthest updates I have on it right now. My fucking God, man. That was such fucking shit. I had a therapist session later that day, too. That day was fucking packed with stuff. I was starting it with the visit to the internist. Then I was going to go vote, then go shopping, then go to therapy, and then come home. And the fucked up thing is that I still had to do the therapy session and the shopping, and my instinct was to go to the fucking polling place because I was so fucked up that my mind was on autopilot. It just went to the next place that was pulled up in Google Maps as the next stop. So that's the only reason I even wound up voting that day. I didn't have to do it that day, but the stuff I needed to get from the store had to be got from the store that day. The therapist session, I had to go, otherwise I'd get a fucking cancellation fee. That, and I really need therapy in general. So my day was not over at that point, but I sure fucking wanted it to be. And my therapist got mad. My therapist was like, you need to fucking file the complaint, because if he's treating you like that, you don't know how many other people he's treating like that. She agreed, my therapist agreed that that doctor was an absolute fucking asshole, and his behavior was inexcusable and totally bereft of any humanity. And yeah, long story short, and I mean it, a long fucking story, I was abused by this fucker. And if the complaint doesn't do anything against him, and if I have to appeal a denial of disability, I'll already have to talk to a lawyer in order to do the appeal. I will be talking to that lawyer about any potential legal action against this guy. And the only thing that I wish I had changed about what I did was I wish I'd had the foresight to record it. Because I was foolish enough to trust a medical professional not to fuck with me. But if I had recorded it, I could have been in court already. I'd have proof. Because the biggest caveat to all this is it's just my word against him right now. Because there's no way he's going to say that he did all that shit. And I have no proof other than if he claims that the examination took longer than it did, because I have the call logs. That's the only proof I have that anything was amiss about this whole thing, because I foolishly thought that I wouldn't have to hold this doctor accountable to doing their job because I didn't record it. I have a fucking camera on my phone. I could have done it, but I was foolish enough to trust a doctor to treat me with fucking humanity. I need to take a drink. You take it from here. What do you think about all this? Let me know.
From really the whole thing sounds like he was just done with today, or doing that in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even vaguely understand. Like, I get the, I don't, it's not my job, I just submit it. Like, I get that answer. Like, for the exact same reason of, well, if they get denied, I could get sued. But the fact that you whittled down what's supposed to be an hour to less than 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, it really does sound like pleasantries went out the window a while ago with this dude.
Yeah.
Because the fucking, what's it called? Pan Am smile and greeting is usually what everyone is trained to do.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome, smile.
Yeah.
Well, don't really care, but
Yeah. Some sort of indication that you're a fellow human being and that we want this to go as pleasantly as possible.
I acknowledge your existence in a pleasant way.
Yeah. And I hate to keep going here. I wanted to try to calm myself down with evidence. I wanted to look up and see, is it just me? Do other people hate this fucking guy? On the clinic's Google reviews, every time someone leaves a bad review, the clinic responds with like, "Oh, we don't see you in our system. What are you talking about?" They fucking respond and yell at people. And then I looked up the doctor's name, and this is a little unfair. This is not good evidence, but it's what I saw while contemplating ending my own life, so it did not help. But
Yeah.
I looked up the doctor's name in relation to disability claims. Now, thing is, if your claim is successful the first time around, there's no legal document at all. If you appeal and you win your appeal, that legal document is not publicly available. But if you appeal and you lose, that document becomes publicly available after, I think, a certain amount of time. So if you look up a doctor that does evaluations for disability and you see court cases and it seems like all they're doing is saying that the person is lying, that's because that's all you're actually able to see, unfortunately. But when I looked up that doctor's name, and I just kept seeing, like, this person has severe problems. The doctor that they saw before the disability thing says that it is a legitimate problem. They have all these limitations. They talked to this one doctor that they got to evaluate it. He said after, and he kept saying, a 40-minute examination, they found there to be no substantial loss in standard of living. Denied. Denied disability. No help for you. I just kept seeing, in case after case, this dude saying, fuck you and what you think is wrong with you, and all the other people who say that thing is wrong with you, I say it's not after an exactly 40-minute examination, and so they got denied. So I'm seriously just like, one day, soon, hopefully soon, I'm going to get a letter with my determination on it. They're going to tell me, after waiting for over a year, they're going to tell me whether or not they approve me or not. And I'm telling you now, if I get denied and I have to appeal, and I will, because Bri has the connection. She knows which lawyers do what. I'll get a lawyer that doesn't charge me shit unless I win. I'll take it to court. It'll terrify me. It fucking scares the living shit out of me to have to go to court and to be around cops and lawyers and all this other shit. It fucking terrifies me. But I am willing to do it, and at that point, if able and necessary, I will also pursue legal action against that doctor for causing me to almost lose my life and the substantial loss of financial gain in his reckless and unprofessional conduct. If I get denied, that will be considered. Because, like my therapist pointed out, I am not the only one who's experienced this. I'm not the only one. I cannot be the only one he's ever done this to. Because it's not like he went in the room all chipper and then after a little while got bad. Like, he was fucked from go. So, during my examination specifically. So it's not like I did anything to piss him off and so he just went bad. So on my behalf and on behalf of anyone else he might have fucked with and denied the ability to pay their fucking bills because of a medical condition, if I get denied, and hell, even if I do get approved, because I might get approved for mental but not medical. If I get denied for medical, and the lawyer I talked to during my appeal says that I have a case, Legal action will be pursued. Because this motherfucker deserves to pay. So that's how my Monday went. You still here?
I threw shit out. Yeah, I just threw some shit away. That's all I did on Monday.
Well, I'm glad yours went better than mine. So, with that out of the way, I think that'll bring our this episode to a close. We've got a couple of ideas down the line of stuff we can talk about. We'll be figuring some stuff out. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for listening. If you made it to this part in the podcast, let us know down in the comments down below. If you could take a train ride to anywhere, bless you.
Thank you.
If you could take a train ride anywhere, one way. Well, I guess not one way, but I just mean like you can't take a train ride to somewhere and then fly somewhere. Like it has to be somewhere you can get to specifically by train, and that be your destination. Where would you go? Because right now, mine would be to visit my mom. Because, you know, it's my mom. I haven't seen her in a long time. What about you, Caleb?
Probably to visit family in Washington.
Nice. So you let us know down in the comments what your answer to that is. Thank you all very much for listening to this episode of All of the Above. But until next week, when we come back with hopefully lighter news and discussion, I'm Vivian.
And I'm Caleb.
And we'll talk to you next time or whatever. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Oh, fuck.